Hello, everyone. We're live here. Let me just double check. No, wrong audio. But let me. There we go. How's everyone been? I know it's been a while since I live streamed to this channel. It's not that I haven't been working, I've just been very busy on some other stuff, both YouTube related and not YouTube related. But I've been laying the groundwork to really um, start pushing a lot of content to this channel. For those that have YouTube channels that want to make it better, or those that are looking to start their YouTube channels, um, I'll share what I know. I am not an expert necessarily in anything, but I've figured some things out, and so I want to share that with anyone that is of interest and collaborate. And I will be in the very near future probably offering some um, either subscription plans or making available some of my processes that I've worked out for making videos, especially with my virtual assistant who's in the Philippines. Um, so anyway, I'm really excited about that, and just to kind of this is kind of exhibit A of how I do things. Okay, so it's a Saturday morning, and I'm enjoying my coffee, and you can see here have my mug from the Grand Canyon. I was in the Grand Canyon. I was in Arizona, visited the Grand Canyon a couple of weeks ago, and I made a video from that travel. My wife and I went first time without kids since we started having kids 20 years ago, and I made like an 8-minute YouTube video, um, mostly just of the sights and scenes there, and put it on my personal YouTube channel. Today I woke up and wanted to talk a little bit about for this channel, right? And I literally have no script, no notes. I'm just showing up, pushing live, and I'm talking to you and I'm making content. Now, maybe no one ever sees this, but I'm making content, and this is how I produce content on a lot of my channels that do get a lot of views. I become more and more convinced that a successful YouTube channel now requires at some point in time a live stream component to it. And and I used to think you should wait until you had an audience and then start live streaming. Now I'm more or less convinced you should start doing it right away, even when you are talking to no one. So right now I can see there. I can see in the corner of my box, you can't see it. There's no viewers to this channel. So some people will say, well, why are you live streaming if there's no viewers? Um, a few reasons. Number one, it builds habit. Okay, um, you get more comfortable talking in front of a camera. Now I've been doing YouTube and I've been live streaming long enough now that it doesn't bother me. And in many ways, it's actually easier to live stream when no one presumably will see your content than it is when you're first time live streaming. There's a big audience there. So I think for a lot of people, if you don't already have that comfort level with live streaming or being on camera, this is a really, really good way to do it. One of the second reasons that I really believe in live streaming right away is it requires you to show up, and it will result in content on YouTube. Now, just for those that are ultra paranoid and they're afraid, well, what if I say something really dumb on a live stream? Well, there's a couple things. Number one, you can always delete it after the fact. Like, it's not like it's out on the internet in perpetuity. It can be taken down. You are the master of your channel. You can delete it, you can unlist it, you can make it private after the fact. So don't feel like you are etching this in stone somewhere that you'll never be able to take down if something horrifying happens because you flatulate on camera or something like that, right? The other thing is you can always edit. YouTube has an editor, so you can go through and you can cut stuff out. And actually, I would encourage you to cut stuff out. My general theory is keep video making simple, make simple video. And I see a lot of people, and myself included, get really bogged down in editing, post recording editing, because we want to make it perfect. We want to enhance it. We want to add things like B-rolls and graphics and stuff like that. Um, for the most part, all that does is slows up the process and may just prevent you from putting the video out entirely. I like to view video making as primarily a sculpture. So anytime you are editing and you are chiseling away, taking excess stuff off, I encourage that. That's how I handle my stuff. So when I make my Arizona trip, for example, I took my GoPro camera, my Insta360 camera along. It's like a GoPro, and I probably recorded a total of, there might have been an hour of clips by the time I said it was said and done over the course of like 5 days. Pull it out, take a 30-second clip, put it back away. So it's all these clips, but you add them all up, you put them all together, and you might end up with like an hour's worth of video. Well, that's too much. You can't just play all that. No one will ever watch it. So what I do is I put them together. Some of the clips I won't use at all, but most of them I'll take 2 or 3 seconds from here, 2 or 3 seconds from there, and it's constantly just sculpting your way down to the finished product. And I think that video, when it was all said and done, was about 8 minutes. Um, and I'm a firm believer that if you're editing to take unnecessary, repetitive, dead time down off, I think that is worthwhile editing, and I would encourage people to do that. The biggest I think people love their content too much and are afraid to get rid of stuff, especially So that is one thing that I do promote, and something I try to um, practice in what I preach. There is I'm about cutting stuff down. That works really well if you like, if you're doing like kind of a lifestyle video, you're taking your camera along to sporting event, or you go hiking, or you go boating, or if you have an airplane, you take it up in the airplane with you, all that kind of stuff. I think the name of the game is to whittle until you have the the smallest version of the story that you're trying to tell. But what about stuff like this? So what about talking videos like this? Well, you can still do the same thing, and let me tell you how I do it. And this has been something that's evolved over time. So, I've been doing these kinds of YouTube videos on different channels. Some that are more what I would call more of a podcast style, where I'm doing it with a co-host. We're doing interviews. Others are just me like talking like this, more informational. I've been doing this for 2 years now, about almost exactly 2 years now, and how I approach it has changed over time, and I think gotten better. I've tried a lot of different systems, softwares, programs, things like that, and I mean, what I have now works the best of all of those. Now, tomorrow maybe I'll come up with something a little better, but let me share with you kind of what I do right now. So, on some of my channels, I have kind of a regularly scheduled live stream um, at like 4:30 in the afternoon. And so I'll live stream. It's usually about 20 minutes or so, and I'll live stream. There may or may not be anyone that shows up for that. But I'll show up, I'll live stream, I'll talk. And then what happens after that, and this is something you can do or your virtual assistant can do. I use my virtual assistant, so I'm going to explain that for those that understand the value of their time and have the ability to hire someone to do that for you. So once I finish a live stream, I let my virtual assistant know, or she just already automatically knows. And then what she will do is a couple of things. When I live stream, I typically have an intro and an outro. The intro is on a live stream, I think, helpful because it gives people a little bit of time from when they see your thing pop up to kind of get into the chat. So it's sort of a that's the purpose that I see that it fills. It lets people know that, oh, if I don't get there right now, I'm not missing anything. Like I can do what I'm doing, pick up my phone, whatever I got to do, go to a different room, and they can get in on your chat. So that's why I do the intro. Uh, I then typically delete the intro and outro from the live stream after the fact, or my VA does. And you could just do that with a YouTube editor. The YouTube editor is limited. You can't really add stuff so much, but you can delete stuff, which is kind of nice. You can either trim stuff from the beginning and end, or you can actually go in and make cuts. It's it's a bit of a clunky tool. I'm a little surprised that YouTube hasn't come up with a better product, but it's better than nothing, right? You don't have to download the whole video and then make edits and upload it. So that's one thing we'll typically do. Then um, sometimes I'll just leave the live stream up, and then like I said, trim it. There- In my personal feeling, once the live stream is done and someone is just going to come upon your video as a previously released video, you want as little, I want to say, wasted time at the beginning as possible. This is the one disadvantage to a live stream is you can't. I mean, it takes a little warm up, right? Um, you can't just necessarily insert a 5 sentence punchline right at the beginning like you can on an edited video. Sometimes you don't know exactly how the live stream is going to play out, what the highlights are going to be, but what you do want to do is be thinking about it when you start your live stream. If I take the intro off, this is going to be where this video starts, and how impactful is this first 5 to 10 seconds going to be to someone that maybe hasn't seen my channel or seen my channel is deciding whether to watch this video. So that's one thing I think you want to be thinking about. I wouldn't overthink it. What you don't want to do is talk yourself out of live streaming or leaving it up because you're afraid that the intro isn't great. A clunky intro on a video that's up is better than a perfect intro in a video that's not up at all. So if those are your options, leave the video up, but take off intro, any kind of filler stuff at the beginning that really isn't about the main point of your video. Just use the YouTube editor and cut it off. You want to give people the maximum opportunity to click on your video and stay long enough to want to see the rest of it. And just leave it up as a live stream. Then what we do is this, and this is the part of it that's kind of gone through some iterations. So I have been using a product called Swell AI. I'm not certain I'm going to continue using it, but it is a really good AI software, um, designed primarily for podcasts, but it works okay for any kind of YouTube content where there's talking involved. Um, if you're interested in that, I'll put a link to that below, um, where I think you can go try Swell AI for free. Um, Basically, what Swell AI does is you upload your video, or you take a link from your, let's say, your live stream or your video that's already on YouTube, um, and you put it into this program. It's a website. It'll process it and it'll generate a whole bunch of stuff. Some pretty cool stuff. It'll give you a full transcript, which is nice. Now, I already get a transcript because I do my videos, whether it's live or not, typically on live stream. And live stream already creates an AI generated transcript. But if you don't have that, you'll get a transcript out of it. Now, again, it's not perfect. It's AI generated, but it's really darn close. So you get a full transcript. You'll get a timestamp, so like what it sees as the various key parts of your video. Now, again, It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn good. It's a really good starting point. It'll give you suggested titles, and you can adjust it to say, I want funnier titles, or I want serious titles, or I want titles that make reference to this thing, right? It's very good about doing that. Give you 10 options to choose from, and then you can, maybe you could tweak it from there. It gives you descriptions, summaries, the ability to, it'll give you draft social media um, things. So, like, say, if I want to promote this podcast episode or this YouTube video on LinkedIn or Instagram, it will automatically break it down into like a thread, and it understands the character limitations and the style, and you can like have it all ready to go, and then you just kind of like copy and paste it into your social media feed, or you might even be able to directly post from Swell AI. I'm not entirely sure about that, but it'll do a whole bunch of different things that you can then do. And like what we do is we usually copy and paste, or I don't, my VA does, but you can copy and paste what Swell AI generates back into YouTube and then save it, right? So that is, and there's all kinds of programs. There's other ones. Swell AI is, I would say, on the more expensive side. But for our needs across different channels and whatever, it has been the best fit. And then usually you have to do some tweaking and stuff because it is AI generated, so you have to kind of finesse the language a little bit. But it gives you something really good to start with, and it's very fast. So that is, I think, one thing that could really help you um, when you're starting out, at least, and even after you're doing, it takes a whole bunch of the work out of trying to like type up a description and come up with titles. It gives you some things to start working with. So that's how we use Swell AI recently, and I would say isn't recent, like in the last week, we have been playing with creating some prompts in ChatGPT. And in some ways, ChatGPT has been producing um, better versions of what I'm looking for than Swell AI. That may just be me not giving Swell AI quite the right guidance of what I'm looking for, but we've been toying with using Swell AI in certain prompts, and I would say so far the results have been pretty good. So, you know, Swell AI, I mean, ChatGPT, it's like $10 a month for a good account, and Swell AI is going to be, I think, a minimum of like $30 a month. There's different tiers, so something to think about. Um, so you can use ChatGPT. You can the easiest way I have found is to take the transcript, which is why one of the benefits to doing things on StreamYard is you get the transcript and you can just drop the transcript into ChatGPT and say, give me 10 funny or humorous title suggestions for this video, and it'll do that, right? It's a really nice starting point. So that's one thing we've been working on. And to kind of give you an example, so like when I um, start releasing stuff, I will make available like our our templates. Like these are the Chat GPT prompts that we use and whatever, if people are interested in that for your own videos. Um, so that's kind of how we do it. The other thing that we've recently started doing that I think is can be very useful for people that are doing more talking videos like this is, if you listen to my videos, I will pause. I'll use ums a lot. I don't even think about it, but when I go back and like listen, I'm like, man, I use a lot. Um, just did it right there, right? So what you do is you can download. So my VA will then take the live stream and download it, or I can. I've done it too. So you could do it if you don't have a VA. This is all very accessible to you, and then you can use different programs. I'm not advocating for one, but I'll tell you what we use. We've tried. What do we tried? Clip Champ, which is a Microsoft product. Um, CapCut. I don't know. There's Final Cut. We use CapCut. For better or for worse, we use CapCut because I have found that it does the best job for what we are asking, which is including both talking videos and more lifestyle videos. So I use CapCut to do my right now to do my my video editing, and what's nice about CapCut, at least now, is you can download a like a talking video, and it can read like it can process it. I don't know if it makes a transcript per se, but it can process the talking, and then it has a function where you can automatically remove all pauses, all ums and uhs and those kinds of words, and it really trims it down. And it if you watch most people on YouTube now, there's all these cuts, like there's all these mini cuts in your video. That's kind of what's going on. So so if I have a live stream or a non-live stream, but something that I really liked the video, but I want to condense it down. It could take a live stream. Let's say it was a 30-minute live stream, and you run it through this, and maybe it's a 20-minute now or 25-minute, and it just makes it flow much more boom, 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 boom. So that's what we use CapCut for. So we use CapCut, run it through there, and then we've been introducing things like B-roll. If you don't know what B-roll is, I'll have Andy throw some B-roll in this after the fact. Not on the live stream, but that's the only thing with live streaming in YouTube. You can't add B-roll on YouTube, but if you do this later on, you can. B-roll is where I'm talking, and then instead of seeing me, suddenly, let's say there's an image of something or a video of something else that's on the screen, but in the background you hear me talking. So if you've seen our videos, you know what I'm talking about. So adding B-roll is something that can really enhance your videos. That's something that we do in CapCut. And you can either use your own stuff. There's some copyright free stuff out there, or you can get a subscription to a service, which we do because we wanted access to a whole lot of different products, sounds, images, videos, graphics, things like that. So you can, if you want to, you can add some of that stuff into your video through CapCut. Now, I will caution you, it's very easy for that to bring the process to a screeching halt, and you start to want to get cute. Be very careful about that, because this is where and I struggle with this as much as anyone. When I'm trying to add stuff to videos as opposed to trimming them, it does slow the process down. So you have to balance that. Having the video kind of be punchy, but also making sure that your videos are up is the thing you have to be constantly monitoring. And I would say err on the side of put the video up rather than trying to make it to improve it too much. But that's something that we do within CapCut. So if you're interested in CapCut, I'll put a link to that as well in the description. So, but yeah, and then you just upload that video back to YouTube. And if you want, you could unlist the StreamYard. If you or just put this up as a separate video. Maybe sometimes what happens, I'll do a live stream on a topic, and then people will show up, and then we'll start commenting. I'll just trim out the commenting and stuff like that on the final video. So let's say the video started out as a topic on CapCut editing, and then during the course of the live stream, people started asking about um, AI software or something like that, and we started talking about that. But I want this video to be on CapCut or video editing. I'll just trim off that other stuff and make this a standalone video. And a lot of times I'll just leave the live stream up. You're kind of giving yourself multiple ways to get people to find your content. But generally speaking, you want to narrow it down and focus it as much as you can. The shorter the video, the better. So that's kind of how I do it. I'll take a live stream if I can, and I'll chop it down and make a separate video. But if you can't, like if life gets carried away, and that happens to me all the time, at least I have that live stream, and I know I'm going to show up. And so to me, that has been the most consistent way to make content for your YouTube channels, is to just build into your calendar a live stream at least once a week. Twice a week could be better. Um, but build in live stream, and just realize you don't even have to come into it with a plan. I often will, an idea will come up, and I've got a 30-minute window of time, and I'll just hop on the StreamYard and I'll just live stream and I'll start talking. Is it better to have a plan? Yes. But is live streaming with no plan better than doing nothing? Yes. So just realize that it's at your fingertips. So StreamYard, you hear me talk about it a lot. I'll put a link to that below. StreamYard is, um, I love StreamYard. Um, and even when I'm not live streaming, I use StreamYard because, like I said, you can add stuff. Let me see if I can give you some examples here. Like, if you want, you could throw stuff like that up there in it. If you have people, um, if you have people that show up in the comments section, you can put that on the screen. Let me see if I can put my own comment up there. So someone comes in. Yeah, okay. So someone comes in, adds a comment. You can throw the comment up on the screen, that kind of stuff. But you can do it even on a non-live situation. You can have some pre-built stuff like subscribe, or you can maybe it's a call out to your link tree or something like that. So that's why I do like the using StreamYard even for non-live streams. You can do your intro and outro right in it. So I use StreamYard. There are other programs out there, Riverside. When we started doing our content originally, we just used Zoom, and I still actually like Zoom for a lot of things. And if you're doing interviews, sometimes Zoom is the easiest way to do it because everyone knows how to do it now. But find a program, that you can record into other than your phone. I mean, I'm not a fan of recording into your phone. Right now, I don't have a webcam. This is just the built-in mic on my MacBook Air. There's nothing fancy about it. I do have the good mic, so I have the DJI 2 mic, so the audio quality on a talking video I think is more important than the video. I didn't do anything with the lighting in this room, so don't overthink it. If you're going to do a video like this where it's primarily you talking, try to have a good audio. But if you don't have access to that, just do stock. And I've done that. Um, there's been a few times this last week that I went on, I hopped on live stream. I didn't have my mic with me, didn't have my camera with me. I just hopped on, and no one cares. Like, no one cares. So don't let that be a barrier to you. But if you have the ability, grab a mic. I still use for a lot of my stuff. I use the Blue Yeti mic. It's a great mic. I know a lot of people have these kind of hanging mics which look really cool. That to me that kind of ties you down. Even the Blue Yeti kind of ties you down, but it's a little easier to move around. A lot of times I'll have my Yeti sitting off to the side, but for this, I think my favorite mic so far, if you can make it work, is the DJI 2 mic. This is not a cheap mic, but you could wear it wirelessly. It's just super good quality, and some people they'll clip it on their hat, and then it's got two of them. So if you want to do an interview, you can collect both audios. So that's an option for you, but um, like I'm just doing this. There's no bells and whistles here other than I have my MacBook Air, I have my DJI mic, and then I have my headphones only because Saturday morning my kids are getting up and I don't want to be distracted by the noise going on out there. But you don't need the headphones. The headphones are just, like I said, to kind of block out external noise. And then just hop on StreamYard and either record, or if you can, live stream, and then it records it too. So StreamYard will keep that recording. It'll provide you with a transcript. It has some other built-in options like making shorts and reels and stuff like that. I haven't used it in a while because I didn't find it all that good, but it would be an option for you if you have nothing else. Um, so yeah, so I think for a lot of people, just getting in the habit of live streaming right away at the beginning of your channel, and then If you want, what you can do is you can take your video, run it through a program like Opus Pro. I'm a huge fan of Opus. Put a link to that in the description as well. Um, Opus is amazing because you can then take your video, chop it up, and maybe you get 5 or 6 short 30-second clips or 10-second clips of your live stream, and you can put it out on social. For sure, do it on YouTube, and then when you do it on YouTube, go ahead and link it to your longer form video, whether it's the live stream or a subsequent edit. You can do it on Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. So that would be my recommendation to people is to start a YouTube channel, live stream. You can either live stream directly in YouTube or like I do, I live stream from StreamYard. And then you can link to multiple channels so you can live stream. I typically live stream to a YouTube page and either a Facebook page or a link or a Twitter page, depending on which channel I am and where the audience is at. That's the nice thing about StreamYard is you can do all that from one spot. So that's how I do it. It's not the only way to do it. It probably isn't even the best way to do it, but I can tell you, for someone who um, is a very busy person and wants to make maximum use of my time, this has worked really well, and it's very accessible. So if you're interested in more of how we do things, subscribe to the channel. I think we're going to be putting together a mailing list. So um, if you want, maybe leave a comment below, um, or go to the description to the link tree and how you can get a hold of us. We'll be putting out more content. So I really like sharing this stuff. I love talking to people, answering questions if I can. So I think that's kind of it. So again, just a random Saturday morning, threw on a live stream, put 32 minutes of content out there, and you can do it too. So appreciate you watching. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, until next time, everyone, have a good one.